He was known for his ready smile and his booming laugh, for his big breakfasts and his huge heart, for his devotion to the church and his unconditional love of humanity. A man who had no trouble making friends. He was one of those rare individuals who could make you feel like you were the only person in the world just by giving you his full attention. Father Mychal Fallon Judge was a friar who worked as a chaplain for the New York City Fire Department. He was loved by everyone, but how did he die? What happened to him on September 11, 2001? And why do some claim that he was the real victim number one on 9/11? Welcome to our channel. It's me. And today we're going to look at what happened to Father Mychal Fallon Judge on September 11, 2001, and how he became the first certified victim of the September 11th attacks. Viewer discretion is advised for this video, as some of this video may be offensive or disturbing. We, the makers of this video, in no way support or condone the actions of the subjects featured. Judge was born Robert Emmett Judge on May 11, 1933, in the Bronx, New York. His father was a bus driver and his mother worked in a library. Judge grew up in a working-class Irish Catholic family and was the oldest of 7 children. Judge attended local schools in the Bronx and was always considered a good student. But he was also a bit of a class clown. Despite his playful nature, he always knew that he wanted to be a priest. So after graduating from high school, he joined the Franciscans and began studying for the priesthood. In 1957, he professed his final vows and took the name Mychal Marie Francis. He was ordained a priest in 1960. Throughout his ministry, he often volunteered to serve in poor or dangerous neighborhoods. "I never wanted to go where it was easy," he said. "I wanted to go where it was hard, where my presence was needed." In the early 1970s, he became the chaplain for the New York City Fire Department, a position that he held until his death. During his time as a chaplain, he was well liked by both the firefighters and the people he served. He was known for his big breakfasts and his even bigger heart. He was always there for the firefighters when they needed him, whether it was to offer a prayer before a dangerous mission or just to lend an ear when they needed someone to talk to. During the 1970s, he regularly visited Ground Zero and the men of the firehouses around it, knowing that they faced danger daily. In 1980, after the death of a firefighter, he famously said, "For those of us who work in rescue operations, every day is a day that we might be needed." As the years passed, he continued to serve the firefighters and the people of New York City with dedication and compassion. But he never forgot the words he lived by, "Go where it's hard." And as fate would have it, he would soon get the chance to put those words to the test. On September 11, 2001, terrorists attacked the World Trade Center in New York City. 2 planes crashed into the towers, causing them to collapse and killing thousands of people. As the news of the attacks spread, people around the country were stunned and horrified. They watched as the towers fell and wondered what they could do to help. In the midst of all the chaos and confusion, one man knew exactly what he had to do. Mychal Fallon Judge, the chaplain for the New York City Fire Department, sprang into action as soon as he heard about the attacks. He knew that the firefighters were gonna need his help, and he wasn't gonna let them down. Without wasting a moment, he got dressed in his fire-resistant jacket and headed straight to the scene of the disaster. When he arrived, he was met with a scene of total havoc. People were running everywhere, trying to escape the falling debris and the smoke that was billowing from the towers. He could hear the screams of people trapped in the rubble, and he knew that he had to do everything he could to help. But as he approached the building, he was stopped in his tracks by the sight before him. The North Tower was on fire, and people were jumping from the upper floors to escape the flames. He could see the fear and desperation in their eyes, and he felt a pang of sadness in his heart. But he knew that he couldn't help them. He had to focus on the firefighters who were risking their lives to save others. As he made his way to the firefighters, he could feel the heat from the flames and the smoke was stinging his eyes. But he didn't care. He was focused on helping the firefighters in any way he could. As he reached the firefighters, he saw that they were exhausted and scared. They had been working for hours and they needed his help. He started by offering prayers for the firefighters, asking God to keep them safe as they worked to save others. He also offered words of comfort and encouragement, reminding them that they were heroes and that they were doing a great job. The firefighters appreciated his support, and they knew that he was there for them. But Judge knew that there was more he could do. He noticed that many of the firefighters were injured and needed medical attention, so he helped them by tending to their wounds and offering them water and food. He also stayed with the firefighters for hours, talking to them and keeping them company. As the day wore on, the situation became more dire. The South Tower was also on fire, and it looked like it might collapse at any moment. Judge knew that this could be the last time he saw these firefighters alive, so he made sure to tell them how much he appreciated their service and sacrifice. He gave them holy medals and blessed them before saying goodbye. When the South Tower collapsed, Judge was thrown to the ground and knocked unconscious. The collapse of the tower sent a shockwave of dust and debris across the street, knocking over cars and sending glass and metal flying through the air. People were screaming and running for cover, but there was nowhere to go. Judge had been knocked unconscious and was lying in the street, unable to move. Some people who witnessed the incident reported seeing a man resembling Judge lying on the ground and tried to help him, but they were unable to move him. By the time they realized that it was Judge, it was too late. He had already been killed by the falling debris. The official investigation revealed that Judge died of blunt force trauma to the head. His body was found near the base of the tower, lying face down in a pile of debris. He was wearing his Franciscan habit and his clerical collar, and he still had his rosary beads in his hand. The firefighters and other emergency personnel who were working at the scene were devastated. They had seen many horrible things that day, but the death of Judge, a man who had given his life to helping others, was particularly heartbreaking. They knew that he had been trying to help them and the people of New York City, and they felt that they had failed him. Despite the tragedy, Judge's death was a source of pride for the Franciscan friars. They knew that he had died a hero, helping others in their time of need. They also knew that he had died doing what he loved, serving the firefighters and the people of New York City. After his death, Judge was honored with a funeral mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral, where thousands of people, including firefighters, politicians, and ordinary citizens, came to pay their respects. He was buried in a cemetery in New Jersey. The place where he's buried is now a popular destination for people who want to pay their respects to him. His tomb is covered with flowers and other tributes, and people often leave messages of thanks and remembrance. In the aftermath of 9/11, there was a renewed interest in Judge's life and work. Many people saw him as a symbol of the courage and compassion that had been on display in the weeks following the attacks. There have been calls for him to be canonized as a saint, and he has become a folk hero to many Americans. However, despite his heroic actions, his canonization has been stalled due to his having had homosexual relationships, which goes against the teachings of the Roman Catholic Church. The Church has yet to decide whether or not to proceed with the canonization process, which has led some to criticize the Church for being slow to recognize his heroism. Others argue that the Church is right to be cautious, given the sensitive nature of his case. Whatever the outcome of the canonization process, Judge's legacy lives on in the hearts of the people he touched during his life. He was a man who gave his life to helping others, and his memory continues to inspire people around the world to be better human beings. What are your thoughts on Father Mychal Fallon Judge? Do you think he should be canonized as a saint? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. Thanks for watching.